the Pacers do it again and pull off the upset. The heavy underdogs once again, but they took game one. They're leading for just 0.3 seconds on the entire night, but it was enough for the Pacers to get the win in game one. The Thunder looking to bounce back. Should be a great one. I'm Trevor Lane. Happy to have you all here with me. We're going to be talking some basketball here throughout the night. Let's get into everything. Everybody coming in from Playback as well as over on X, as well as the Basketball Bulletin YouTube channel. Happy to have y'all here. Kevin said, "Let's go Pacers." Yeah, I can't deny that. I think I'm pulling for the Pacers in this one. I do think we're going to see a bounce back game from the Thunder. I think they're going to get themselves right back into the thick of things. And frankly, I think they did everything they needed to do in order to win game one. Just made some critical errors down the stretch, and then the Pacers did what the Pacers do with their insane comebacks. All right, here we go. Opening tip, the Thunder win it. And it's OKC ball. Now, I thought a little bit controversial. They started Cason Wallace again instead of going back to, and Cason Wallace then scores immediately on the first possession. Cason Wallace playing instead of Isaiah Hartenstein, I thought that was maybe a bit overthinking on the part of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Surprised they didn't force the Pacers to adjust to their own lineup. Pascal Siakam knocks down the 3-2. Pacer lead right now. Both teams have had just one possession so far, so we're just getting underway here. Chet Holmgren pump fakes, gets into the paint, on the drive, flips it up, gets his own offensive rebound, puts it back up, and in 4-3 Thunder lead. Both teams have scored on their initial possessions here. Nobody's come up empty. Halliburton into the paint, kicks out, wide open corner three. Looked like there was contact there for Nesmith. Doesn't get a call, though. And here come the Thunder going the other way. Jalen Williams kicks out. Lou Dort for three. The high arc. No. Short on that one. There's Pascal Siakam with the rebound. Hits ahead to Andrew Nembhard. Nembhard over to Siakam. Gets the screen. Uses it. And now Miles Turner, who Shams Charania says the Pacers will go into the luxury tax to re-sign. And there's the 15-footer for Andrew Nembhard. He's been so critical to this Pacers team. His ability to handle the basketball, defend at a high level, do a little bit of everything. He's been so important for them. Chet Holmgren into the paint, spins, kicks out. Cason Wallace, the three. No, the Pacers let him have that shot. Couldn't knock it down. 5-4 Indiana lead, 10-10 to play in the first quarter. All right, here come the Pacers. Miles Turner, the pump fake. Miles Turner. Ball knocked out of bounds off the Thunder. See the question coming in here from Always Winning. How come on Spot Track you can't trade for free agents? I'm a little confused. Because they're free agents. You can't trade for a guy if he's going to be a free agent. It's not under contract. Oh, the Pacers nearly turned it over. Barely save it. Nesmith's able to get it back in bounds to Nembhard. Had to walk the tightrope there for a moment. Nembhard short on the 20-footer. Lou Dort with the rebound. SGA, who's been quiet so far on the dribble. Deep three for Lou Dort. Money. 7-5. Thunder lead. Lou Dort, that was 5-6 feet beyond the three-point line. And he knocked it down. Here's Turner into Siakam. Siakam posting up SGA. Going to work. Siakam. Oh, SGA pulls the chair and Siakam throws it to the third row. Smart defensive play there by SGA. Pulls the chair on Miles Turner. He was not ready for that. And here comes Dort bringing the ball up. 7-5 Thunder lead. J-Dub bringing the ball up. Now has Miles Turner on the switch. J-Dub on the attack. Loses it. Early turnover for OKC. The Pacers. Here comes Nembhard. Swings it across. Nesmith had the three. Instead, drops it off to Halliburton. Halliburton gets the screen from Siakam over to Nembhard. Turner sets the screen, but kind of slipped it. The kick out? No, deflected. Pacer ball, baseline out of bounds with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Again, happy to see y'all here. If you're coming in from playback, you're over on the Basketball Bulletin YouTube channel. Happy to have you there as well. And of course, over on my X account, if you're tuning in from there. Miles Turner on the drive. Miles Turner kicks out. 2 on the clock. Siakam, the high arc, in, out, over the top, and that's out of bounds. 7-5 Thunder lead, 8:37 to play in the first. So we're just getting underway here. Turnover is certainly a stat to keep an eye on. The Thunder do a great job forcing turnovers while not turning the ball over very often themselves. There's SGA's first points of the game. So easy, so under control. Gets to that 15-footer or so and knocks it down. 9-5. Thunder lead. Siakam on the drive gets bumped by J-Dub. Probably could have been a foul there. And the bank is open for Miles Turner. The bank was open on that shot, and the bank is going to be open for Miles Turner this summer. That man is getting paid, and most likely by the Pacers this summer. The kick out, SGA, the wide open corner three, knocks it down. The MVP for three, 12-7. Thunder lead early. Nembhard, corner three, yes, to match. SGA, 12-10. That was what the Pacers did so well in game one. Just keeping contact, staying close, not letting the Thunder run away with it, and then giving themselves a chance to do what they do down the stretch. There's the turnover for the Thunder. Siakam, no, gets blocked, they say. No whistle for the Pacers. They had the transition opportunity, and there's Chet Holmgren losing the ball out of bounds, got out of control. Some sloppy basketball there. There's the block. Nice play by Halliburton, and the Pacers got running the other way but couldn't capitalize. Halliburton steps back, shoots the three. The set shot, no. And the ball tipped out, but OKC comes away with it. Here comes SGA on the drive into the paint. He turns it over. The Thunder suddenly can't hang on to the basketball. Halliburton, the Thunder fans are irate, saying he went back court. Nembhard on the drive. Turner uses the screen there with him. Nembhard pump fakes, gets contact. Cason Wallace is going to pick up the foul there. And Nembhard's going to the free throw line. OKC fans not happy. Pan asks, by the way, guys, regardless of where you're coming in from, if you're coming in from YouTube, if you're coming in from X, from playback, if you guys want to throw any questions, comments, anything like that out there, fire away. Now's the time. Pan said, I think it's really good for the league to have smaller market teams in the finals. What do you think about it? So in terms of the NBA's big picture plan, yes, this is good for the NBA. They want a league where every team 1 through 30 and pretty soon 1 through 32 feels like they have a chance, that they are building towards something or they have an opportunity to go win something. They don't want anybody to feel like they're totally out of it. So the idea that two small market clubs like the Thunder and the Pacers can make the finals, well, that's going to be a bit inspiring to the other small markets around the NBA. So big picture, in that sense, yes, it's a good thing for what the goals of the NBA are right now. They don't want dynasties anymore. You can argue that's not the right approach, but that's what they're going for, parity. However, in terms of this individual NBA finals, it's not good for the NBA. It's definitely not good. The ratings were already in for game one, and hopefully the quality of game one will increase the ratings for game two. But game one, the lowest rated game one of an NBA finals since 1988. A lot of you probably weren't even alive then. I was, but a lot of you probably weren't. Game one of the NBA Finals, the lowest since they started recording these things in 1988. Hell, you go back far enough into the 80s, and the NBA Finals were on tape delay. You couldn't even watch them live. That's how poorly rated these NBA Finals have been so far. So in that sense, That's not good. That's not good for the NBA. That said, it's not going to bother me much. We're getting great basketball. I'll take great basketball all day, every day. And on top of that, I think big picture with what the league is trying to go for, it's a good thing. Uncanny said Trevor remembers Wilt against Russell, to be fair. Oh, man. Not that far off. But no, I was not actually around for Wilt versus Russell. That was close. Trevon said with a super chat, appreciate the super chat, said bring back epic cheerleader routines like Bring It On, All-Star Weekend, the NBA Cup Final, plus an elite cheer competition, and the rookie and sophomore $250,000 game. Vets rest, stars honored, fans entertained. Boom. Trevon, I dig it. I dig it. I like the idea. And I've been saying the same thing. Make it the NBA Cup Final. And maybe, just maybe, if the All-Star game, which Adam Silver said looks like be going Team USA versus World, if that's the way this goes and it still flops, if it's still awful, once again, like at that point, does the NBA just tap out? Do they say, fine, we wave the white flag and we go and we'll just get rid of the All-Star game and just make it the NBA Cup Final? At least you're going to get a competitive game. Exactly. Josh says, I love some competition. That's all I'm looking for a close series. I know you're talking about this game, but that's all we're looking for in the All-Star game too. I just want to see a competitive game. I want to see basketball players play basketball. I don't want to just see a dunk contest and that's it with no defense. It's not fun. It's not exciting. If the players care, I'll care. That's what it comes down to. I do this for a living, and I plan vacations around the All-Star game. Like, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. 12-10 as Nembhard misses the first free throw, knocks down the second. 12-11 now, 6:40 to play in the first. Please have Team USA versus the world before LeBron retires. Yeah, I think they're going to do it this year. It's happening this year, and LeBron will be a big part of it. SGA on the drive, gets the switch. Along the baseline, gets the whistle, throws it up. If they were in Indiana, that was Mathurin who got called for the foul on the switch. The Thunder trying to attack Benedict Mathurin. Nice double screen there. Little drag screen for the Thunder. But going right at Mathurin, if this were in Indiana, they'd be chanting free throw merchant right now, which has become SGA's unofficial nickname. Let's see. Does he leave his feet? No. Oh, he reached. Why, Benedict? Why? He did everything right with his feet, and then at the last second, he reached his hand in there. He couldn't resist. SGA misses the second free throw, so it's 13-11. Nembhard swings the ball over to Halliburton with Wallace defending. The screen from Turner. Gets the switch with Hartenstein. Right back to Turner. Turner's got the three. Steps back. Takes it long. Nice rebound by Nembhard. Kicks it out to Mathurin. Halliburton gets contact. The bump. No shot. But a foul on the floor. That'll reset the shot clock to 14 seconds. 13-11. Indiana ball here. Yeah, that's a foul. That's an early foul here on Lu Dort. Smart play there by Halliburton to put a foul on one of the Thunder's best defensive players. Turner gets the ball. Here comes Mathurin, who we know can score in bunches. Here's Halliburton, looking to work the screen with Turner. Turner slips it. Mathurin now having to create mess of an offensive possession there. I would like to see Turner get, as it's a turnover there, the Thunder pick it up. I'd like to see Turner actually get contact instead of just slipping that screen. The Thunder are reading that too well. Here's Wallace on the floor fighting for it. And it's Thunder ball. Nembhard was battling, but he was out of bounds when he touched the basketball. And here comes Alex Caruso checking in. What do I think about the Thunder changing the lineup so early? You mean at this point? Right now, or changing the starting lineup? I don't like them changing their starting lineup. But you mean going to Hartenstein instead of Chet? I thought they missed Hartenstein's screening in game one. They didn't play him enough. So I'm okay with that if I'm OKC. They need to get more of that out there. And oh man, deep three for Halliburton. No, can't get it to go. Obi Toppin is checked in, by the way, for the Pacers. I'm okay with the Thunder tinkering with things a little bit. What I think they should have done is enforce their will a bit more and force the Pacers to adjust to them. There's a great look, and there's an example where Hartenstein can be effective. The quick read, the quick pass, drops it off to Caruso for 3, 16-11. Thunder lead. More foot speed with Kaysen versus Hartenstein. Agreed. There is more foot speed that way, but you also have more size, more strength, more physicality. Would have liked to have seen the Thunder try to force the Pacers adjust to that. But that said, that was a great read here, right here by Hartenstein. Head up, catches the ball, finds Caruso, and a great pass to kick that all off. 5-point Thunder lead. Halliburton gets the screen from Turner. More contact on the screen that time from Turner. Mathurin, the fading three. Oh, man. Drills that. Effortless by Mathurin. 16-14. Pacers are keeping contact here. And J-Dub kicks out. Dort, fake the three. Here's Hartenstein looking for the handoff. Back to Dort. Dort the three over Halliburton. No, that was a brick. Good defense there by the Pacers. Here comes Nembhard. Mathurin now into the paint. Turner wide open for three. He can knock that down, but short on that one. Caruso on the break. Caruso challenging Turner. No, knocked out of bounds. I thought that was off Caruso, but it's going to be Thunder ball. Miss Caruso, man, would love him on the Lakers. I don't want to relitigate that whole thing, but that was one of the dumbest things that I've seen the team do with what they did with Caruso. There was no reason for it, no excuse aside from one thing, and that was money. When you're the seventh most valuable sports franchise in the planet, should never be making a personnel decision like that based on money. And now a foul on Thomas Bryant. Hartenstein, nice job playing bully ball. And he'll go to the free throw line. Hartenstein leads in. Hartenstein created the contact there. Oh, but there's the hook. Yep. Wrapped around the waist of Hartenstein. That was Thomas Bryant with the foul. 16-14 Thunder lead, 3:50 to play in the first. And Hartenstein knocks down the first free throw. All right, Hartenstein, the second free throw. Long. TJ McConnell's checked in, pulls down the rebound. So 3-point Thunder lead. Here's Mathurin. Goes over to McConnell. McConnell swinging to the top and corner three. Yes! Obi popping. Tie game at 17. You would think in a game like this, after dropping game one, the Thunder would come out and claim an early lead. But the Pacers doing what the Pacers do. Staying in touch. Tie game here. The Pacers looking to maybe even take the lead. Halliburton kicks out to McConnell. Toppin on the drive. Toppin all the way to the rim. Gets blocked by Holmgren. Now the Thunder are going. The Twin Tower lineup with Holmgren and Hartenstein on the floor together. With Obi Toppin and Thomas Bryant on the floor. Together, the Thunder say, okay, we'll go two bigs as well. Here's the thing. This is what I don't like by the Thunder. And Mark Daigneault obviously disagrees with this. But I think Hartenstein and Holmgren are, well, they're not the quickest perimeter players. I think they're quick enough to give you enough of a presence out there on the perimeter that you can get away with doing it. You can get away with having both those guys on the floor. And you know what? Take the advantage. Say, we're going to crush you on the glass. We're going to crush you with our rim protection because we're going to have these bigs on the floor. But that's not what, again, Mark Daigneault is a brilliant coach, but that's not the decision that they've made here, the Thunder. Adam asks, will the Clippers ever get over the hump? Their fans have been in depression for a long time. I mean, Clippers going to clip. Look, will they ever get over the hump? I don't think so with this iteration. And for a little while there, it looked like they would. It looked like the answer was going to be yes. It looked like, yeah, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard together, they've got the team. They're going to win a championship at some point. It's going to happen. And it just never did. The injuries, they kept piling up. And it just never did. Just never happened. So with this group, I thought they played well this past season, especially the postseason. Kawhi looked like Kawhi. Instead of looking like old Kawhi, he looked like the Kawhi of old. But you're now banking on the health of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. No, I think the Clippers, they're going to sign James Harden to a new deal, and it will coincide with that of Kawhi Leonard, which means we're going to see one more year this next season plus one more season of Kawhi and Harden. Maybe they make a move with Norman Powell. Maybe they package together. They're rumored to be a landing spot for Kevin Durant. I think if big moves are there, they will make them. But based on the way the roster is currently structured, I think they're good. I think they're a challenge for anybody in the postseason. But I just don't think they get there. You're banking on 34-year-old Kawhi Leonard and 36-year-old James Harden being healthy. That's not a bet I want to take. So I don't think they get there. They do have their full mid-level exception this year. They can add a piece there. If they make the big swing trade, you package together some contracts. Norman Powell's got a $20.4 million expiring contract. Bojan Bogdanovic, $16 million expiring. You've got some money that you can go out there and do something with. I won't put it past the Clippers, but unless they do something dramatic on the trade market this summer, I don't think they do it. I like this, though. If the Clips were in the East, it would be way different. Oh, yeah. Everybody in the East is looking around right now going, damn, why not us? If the Clippers were in the East, they'd be saying, why not us? If the Mavs were in the East, they'd be saying, why not us? If it was the Lakers, if it was anybody, any of these West teams that are right there, they'd be saying, why not us? Because that's the state of the Eastern Conference right now. The West is going to have 13, if not 14 teams coming into the season next year saying we should make the playoffs. That is not going to be true of the East. Not going to be true. All right. Oh, bad turnover there by Halliburton. His heel touched the half-court line, and that's a backcourt. You can't gift the Thunder turnovers. They're good enough at forcing them themselves. You can't gift them any extra turnovers. Right now, just 2 turnovers in the quarter for the Pacers, 3 for the Thunder. That was a big part of the Pacers comeback in game 1, was cutting down on the turnovers. SGA kicks out. Isaiah Joe for 3, in and out. In and out. And here's Obi Toppin, the little handoff to Halliburton. Halliburton for 3, the set shot. Money. Pacers lead 2017. Let's see. Do the Thunder get nervous here? Are the Pacers simply a team of destiny? Isaiah Joe on the drive. Oh, pretty reverse. I didn't know Isaiah Joe had that in his bag. What a reverse shot there. Acrobatic and crafty. Halliburton misses the pull-up jumper. Here comes SGA. 1-point Pacer lead with 2:10 to play in the first. Holmgren pump fakes the 3, steps back. Chet, you better knock that down because you had the wide open driving lane. You had a clear path to the basket, and he stepped back and shot the 3. Good thing he made it. 21-20, Thunder lead. Oh, and it was only a 2. His foot was on the line. Look at Isaiah Joe here. Here comes Obi Toppin. Isaiah Joe. Up, under, reverse. So pretty. And yep, Chet Holmgren, the Kevin Durant, toe was on the 3-point line. So it's only a 2. The scary thing is, if the Thunder lose this series, what do they do on the trade market? Does that embolden them to go do something crazy? Nembhard short on the corner three. Does that embolden them to go after Giannis or KD? Could you imagine KD coming back and finishing his career in OKC? I could see it. Isaiah Joe misses the three, and it will be just like Golden State in their 72-win season, coming up short in the finals. Next thing you know, it clears the path to KD getting there. Thomas Bryant for three. No. Former Laker misses that one. 21-20. Thunder lead. SGA into the paint. Flips it up. Thought he got contact. No whistle. Here's TJ McConnell pushing the pace the other way. Nesmith. No. A lot of misses. I haven't checked the shooting percentages. They got to be low, though. Yeah, 35% from the field for the Pacers. 44% from the Thunder. But 33% from three. 50% from the free throw line for both teams. The finishing, not been great for either side on the offensive end so far in this one. SGA, look at Andrew Nembhard. I love Andrew Nembhard. Such a versatile player. Picking up SGA full court. Now Nesmith switched on to SGA. Kicks out. Holmgren for three. Knocks it down. 24-20. Thunder lead. 45 seconds to play in the first. McConnell with the ball up top. Thomas Bryant sets the screen. The switch now with Holmgren defending. Holmgren moves well for a big man. McConnell pulls up short. Hartenstein with the rebound. Here comes SGA. Steps back, shoots the three. SGA in and out. The MVP can't knock it down. Oh, no. What a mistake. The Pacers had the rebound and they fumble it out of bounds. They give the ball back to the Thunder. You can't do that. 16 seconds to play in the first. And we're going to see Miles Turner and Benedict Mathurin sub him back in. The Pacers now need a stop. The Thunder can hold for the last shot of the quarter. Caruso inbounding the ball. Hits Holmgren. Turner defending. Holmgren all the way to the rim. Scores it. 26-20. 13 seconds to play in the quarter. The Thunder, the last minute plus, it's been all OKC. 5 on the clock. 4. Turner, a little late to set the screen there. Nembhard kicks out. Open 3 for Siakam. What was he doing? What was Siakam doing? He had the open shot and he paused. He stopped. He froze. He didn't shoot the ball. He knocked down the three, but the buzzer had already sounded. Pascal, you got to put that up. What was he thinking? The man, he thought he had like 10 seconds to shoot that thing. Wow. Had to shoot that immediately. And instead, he took a second to sit there and ponder the meaning of life before he shot the damn ball. Unbelievable. Pascal Siakam asleep at the wheel on that one. All right, 26-20 after one. Thunder lead. 33% from the field for the Pacers. That's obviously not good enough. 36% from the 3-point line. 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Indiana. Meanwhile, the Thunder now up to 48% from the field and 36% from 3, 50% from the free throw line. 3 turnovers for the Thunder, 3 for the Pacers, including the one to finish off the quarter there. 6 assists for Indiana, 8 assists for OKC. Both teams with 1 offensive rebound. The rebounding battle pretty close. And it is 6 points for Andrew Nembhard leading the way for the Pacers. Otherwise, pretty balanced scoring. You have 3 for Mathurin, Toppin, Siakam, and Halliburton. Meanwhile, for OKC, 9 for Chet Holmgren, who is not good in game 1. Welcome to the series, Chet, 4 of 5 shooting, 6 for SGA, and then 3 off the bench for Alex Caruso, 3 for Lou Dort as well. Oh, no. Real said, Pascal already lost me some money. WTF, bro. Never betting on that dude again. Oh, no. Did he? I hope he didn't lose it on that last shot. I hope he didn't cost you money by refusing to shoot the ball there. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Pascal Siakam, asleep at the wheel. Chuck Daly getting the Lifetime Achievement Award right now. Congrats to Chuck, a small ball pioneer. There's Golden State Warriors teams back in the day. As well as the Mavs. All right, so Thunder lead. Here we go, starting the second quarter. And it's TJ McConnell with the ball up top. I'm sorry, that was Don Nelson getting the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award. I think I said it wrong there. There's Nembhard. Behind the back, steps back. The deep three, no. 26-20, Thunder lead. J-Dub bringing the ball up. Gets the screen from Hartenstein, kicks out. Nice little off-ball action there. I like that from the Thunder. It wasn't just, and they score there. It wasn't just the pick and roll up top. It was the off-ball pin-down screen that created the open look. You like seeing that activity, not stagnation off ball. 8-point Thunder lead. Here's Nembhard. Across the court, McConnell does not like to shoot the three, but knocks it down. Big shot for the Pacers. It was starting to get a little dangerous for them, but now the Thunder lead cut to 5. Big shot there for TJ McConnell. And here's J-Dub on the drive, scores it, and one. The blocking foul on McConnell, who says, get out of here, to the referee. Was it a good call? Let's see. Oh, that's pretty close, but I thought the J-Dub did slide past him there. So we've got the bucket and the free throw coming. (31-23) after J-Dub gets the free throw to go. And here's McConnell to Turner. Turner working on Hartenstein. Mathurin gets it. 8 on the clock. Mathurin, the pull-up 15-footer. This Pacers offense not doing a great job generating looks. Here's Caruso in transition the other way. Blocked, but a goaltend. Looking like a little bit of trouble here for the Pacers. Their offense is really grinding to a halt right now. Surprising because the Pacers, they tend to do a nice job problem solving on the fly, but that's not been the case these last few minutes. 10-point Thunder lead now. And Turner's it over. Miles Turner just loses the ball, slips out of his hands. Oh, Caruso had the and one, but instead it's an offensive foul. And Mark Daigneault is looking like he may challenge this. Let's see. Oh, no, that's a good call. Nembhard was set. He was set and waiting for him. There, yeah, the Thunder, the right call here to not challenge. Nembhard was there. Turner at the rim, scores it, thought he got contact, no whistle. 33-25, OKC lead. The Pacers, important that they just don't go. There's a turnover there. Nice job there by McConnell, preventing that pass. McConnell, the drop-off. And the finish there. That's all it is for the Pacers now. Just keep this close. Keep it at arm's length. Do not let the Thunder run away with this thing. 33-27. Nice response here from Indiana. Caruso, open quarter three. Missed. Hartenstein, the rebound, goes up. He misses. Can anybody get the rebound? No. There, McConnell. What a save. Behind the head save to Nembhard. And here come the Pacers going the other way. Almost loses it. McConnell open, hesitates, takes the three. No. TJ McConnell misses that one. Boy, that would have really got the Pacers going had that one dropped. 33-27. Thunder lead. J-Dub, the pull-up, smooth. 15-footer, and there's a timeout for Rick Carlisle. 35-27. That was a big swing play there. The miss by McConnell after the broken play. And a bucket going the other way for J-Dub. The DJ is the truth said, I believe in Shams when he says this offseason is going to be wild. Yeah, I mean, look, there's so many teams that say we've got a shot, that feel like they've got an opportunity to do something, and there's nobody out there in free agency. So it's going to have to get done via trade. These teams, all these teams that are looking to improve, they're going to have to do it on the trade market. My only question is, where are the sellers? Like, what surprise seller is going to look at the market dynamics and say, there's so many teams looking to buy, maybe right now we should sell. Maybe now is a good time for us to sell. I wonder if we're going to see somebody make a surprise decision to sell that we weren't expecting, because there's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of teams that want to improve right now and want to get their rosters going. I also think we're going to see more shuffling the deck type trades where teams are not necessarily buying or selling, but moving pieces in favor of ones that seem to fit better. For example, I think the Orlando Magic and my Lakers are a really good trade partner because the Lakers have a couple of shooters in Dalton Knecht, in Rui Hachimura, that could exactly help what the Magic need. Meanwhile, the Magic have the bigs the Lakers could use. So could we see some kind of a swap there? I think we could see more trades like that as well, as teams are looking to address specific weaknesses. So I do think we're going to get a very busy trade market this summer, and it's going to pick up. I mean, what are we now? What, June 8th? Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The draft is coming up on the 25th. I think the trade market is going to really, really pop off this summer. Next year is going to be even bigger in free agency. Yeah, next year. Whew. Teams have been looking at. See, it's kind of a chicken and egg thing where there's no free agents really available because there's no cap space available, but there's also no cap space available because there's no free agents available to spend it on, right? If teams knew a bunch of guys that they really wanted were going to become free agents this year, they'd be hoarding cap space for this year. Next year, though, 2026, yeah, teams have been keeping an eye on 2026 for a while. For a bit there, it looked like Luka was going to hit free agency, and I guess technically he still could, and we'll see if he does sign an extension with the Lakers. But there could be some guys out there in 2026, including maybe Austin Reeves. We'll see. But there's going to be some players available in 2026 that I think teams are going to hoard some cap space for. Utah should sell. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. They didn't get the draft pick that they wanted. They wanted Cooper Flagg. They didn't get it. I know they're talking about trying to win, but they've got too many guys they need to sell on. I think Colin Sexton is a guy they should sell on. I think they should sell, if they can, on John Collins. Jordan Clarkson, they absolutely must sell on if they can get anything for him right now. He's getting up there in years. He's somehow, 32 years old? I don't know how that's possible. Jordan Clarkson is 32 years old somehow. Utah 100% needs to sell on those guys. They can keep their young guys. If they want to, they could look at a Lauri Markkanen trade. I still think they should at least consider Walker Kessler, but Utah does need to sell. I'll tell you the other team that really needs to sell. It's the Portland Trail Blazers. They 100% need to sell. The Portland Trail Blazers have Jeremy Grant, Rob Williams, Anthony Simons maybe would be a good get for, say, that aforementioned Orlando Magic. They've got too many guys. If they can move on from DeAndre Ayton, yeah, do that. You've got Donovan Clingan. Move on from DeAndre Ayton. I think the Portland Trail Blazers, they need to stop asking such crazy high prices for their veterans and make some moves. And there's the miss from Siakam on the 15-footer. Here comes Holmgren. J-Dub on the drive, gets to the big block by Siakam. What a play. Toppin, cross court. Mathurin steps back behind the three-point line. He's got Chet Holmgren on him. On the drive, kick out. Toppin for three. No. Holmgren the rebound, 35-27. Boy, some chances last couple of possessions for the Pacers, but they couldn't knock it down. Holmgren almost loses it. On the ground. Hits it over to Wiggins. Wiggins, the step back three. Money. Big swing possession there. The Pacers had opportunities, couldn't score, and now it's 38-27. Thunder lead. Halliburton, get ready to check back in. There's the miss, and here come the Thunder. And J-Dub wrapped up by TJ McConnell. He'll go to the free throw line. The Thunder getting some separation here. 11-point lead with free throws coming. Ruben said the problem is that two-team trades are so difficult right now. A third team will have to be involved almost all the time. Yeah, for anybody that's above the first-tier apron, which I've talked about this a lot, I think that the rule that you cannot take back more salary than you send out in a trade, that should not trigger a first apron hard cap. That should be a second apron trigger, not first apron. And I think the problem is that it is a first apron trigger. And so that creates all these situations where you have to have three teams involved in a trade. Now, I will say, I thought that was going to largely prohibit trades because I think it's draconian. I think it's too heavy-handed. But as we saw at the trade deadline, kind of like Jurassic Park, life finds a way. Teams find a way. Teams were getting creative and finding a way to get it done. So based on what we saw at the trade deadline, I'll hope that teams continue to find a way despite that rule. But I agree, that is my least favorite rule in the new CBA. And I think that should be a second-tier apron rule, not first-tier, because I think it is way too restrictive. Toppin the reverse. No, can't get that to go. The Pacers are in a dry spell. Thunder running. Kenrich Williams, Holmgren, all alone, dunks it, and just like that, it's a 15-point OKC lead. The Pacers can't put the ball in the basket. 16-7 run in the second quarter for OKC. The Pacers down to 32% from the field. I've been praising them for how well they've been doing at just keeping contact with the Thunder, but the Pacers offense falling to pieces here. Meanwhile, OKC now up to 52% from the field, and they're looking to break this game open. I'll tell you what, I haven't seen it so far, but I do wonder if there's any element of the Pacers that thinks, you know what, we're good. We stole home court. We're playing with house money now. We'll see. If you're a Pacers fan, you're got to hope that they make some type of counter run here over the final 7 minutes of the half. Get it back to single digits at halftime. That's what you're looking for. Would you rather have Jordan Clarkson or Buddy Hield as a 6th, 7th, or 8th man? Buddy Hield, and not particularly close. Buddy Hield is just a different level of shooter than Jordan Clarkson is. DJ's the truth said Matisse Thybulle and Chumani Kamara would be nice from Portland. Really nice fit. I don't think Portland moves Kamara. I think they really like him. They're going to keep him. Thybulle, yeah, he could pick up that $11-ish million player option. But I like Matisse Thybulle a lot. Just an elite defensive player. And if you buy the 3-point shooting that he showed the last few years, yeah, he'd be a nice fit a lot of places. The Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks are going to have to sell their teams away. The Celtics, we know, will be a seller, but they'll be a seller in part because they may look to take a gap year next year, with the Jason Tatum injury being part of it, but also just as a second-tier apron team, they're just way too expensive. I mean, if their team stays together as is, they're a $500 million team. It's way too expensive. So they're going to be a seller for sure. The Knicks, I don't know. I mean, the Knicks might look to switch out some pieces. Could you trade Karl Anthony Towns maybe and turn him into something else? I don't think they'd be a seller where they'd be looking for future assets, though. The Knicks, like a lot of teams, are going to look at the rest of the East and say, let's go. Why not us? Let's go. So I don't see the Knicks as a seller in a traditional sense. The Celtics will be, not because they want to be, but because without Tatum anyway, they might as well. Would you take prime Al Horford or prime Sabonis? Which Sabonis? That's the question. Domantas Sabonis? Is that who we're talking about? I'm assuming. So which Sabonis are we talking about there? Are we talking about Arvydas Sabonis? If it's Arvydas Sabonis, if that's what you're asking, Arvydas easy. Prime Arvydas Sabonis. I wish he had played in the NBA at that point when he was in his prime. Oh, Damas. It's close. But I think I go Horford. We've seen more of Al Horford in big, and Nesmith scores tough bucket there. We've seen more of Al Horford in big game situations and come up big and make big plays. We haven't seen that from little Sabonis. Arvydas Sabonis would easy pick would be him if that was one of the options. And there's a turnover. Halliburton turns it over for the Pacers. 42-29. Here comes the Thunder. Can't turn the ball over too much against this Thunder team. By the way, the Thunder did a terrible job capitalizing on Pacers turnovers in game one. Got to do a better job of that tonight. SGA. Step back. 15-footer. Money. Mathurin was not close with him there. 44-29 now. Here comes Halliburton. 6 minutes to play in the half. Hallie with Holmgren on him. Kicks out, almost turns it over, does turn it over. Another turnover for the Pacers. The Thunder are up by 15. The Pacers have them right where they want them, right? Never make them bleed their own blood. Just under 6 minutes to play in the half. Looks like Miles Turner is going to check back in. SGA to the rim and one. The MVP. 46-29 with a free throw coming to OKC. Oh, was there even any contact there? Let's see. If there wasn't much based on the way this game's been played so far. That wasn't much contact. But SGA going to the free throw line all the same. Do you believe the Lakers could have beaten this Indiana team? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't put it past them. I thought the Lakers played some of their worst basketball of the season in the playoffs, which is unfortunate timing for them. But I think they could have. I mean, look, what Austin Reeves did it by himself. That was one game, but still. That said, the Pacers, I wouldn't say, yes, the Lakers, no problem, just destroy this Pacers team. No way. This Pacers team's playing great. And the way they're playing right now, it would have been a very difficult series for the Lakers. But could they have beat them? Sure, I think they could have. There's a step back three for the Thunder. 50-29. OKC pouring it on. Aaron Wiggins. Turner's it over again. Second turnover of the game for Miles Turner. And the Thunder in control now. The Pacers did a good job keeping it close in the first quarter. Second has been all OKC. 24-9 is the score in the second quarter. Wow. Unbelievable. How do you feel about the new Saber ass? How do you feel about the new Lakers yellow compared to the original gold? I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Lakers that it is more of a yellow. There's the reverse from SGA. It is legit more of a like yellow than a gold. 52-29 now. In fact, here, let me do this. I always use visual aids when I can. So, I just so happen to have one right here. This is the Lakers jersey. This is a LeBron jersey. Now, to be fair, this is the jersey from 4 or 5 years ago, but this is when they made the change. It is very clearly like a very different yellow. In fact, I do have one. Oh, I don't have it in here, but I do have more of the old style one, the old gold. And it's just so different. Like even in person, when you're looking at these, it's a very like we're one shade shy of a banana-y yellow. It's not bad. It's not that it looks bad. I'm not going to look at it and say, oh, this looks terrible. But it's a shade or two too bright, in my opinion. It doesn't look classic Lakers to me. And part of that is, I grew up in the 80s. I grew up during Showtime and that more true gold that we saw. So I'm not a huge fan of this. And I've seen there have been some leaks recently about some changes coming to the jerseys for next year. And I'm excited to see what those look like because I do think it needs a little bit of refinement. I would remove the black stripe on the side of the purple ones, but I'm also I'm old school. I'm not in favor of wearing the yellow jerseys on the road, wearing purple at home and stuff like that. Give me a home and away, throw in an alternate, whites on Sundays, and I'm good. But I do think they went too far with this shade of yellow for the Lakers. Okay. Oh, there's the turnover. SGA turns it over. Nembhard with the steal. Nembhard, the reverse layup, scores it. Can that get the Pacers going? 52-31 now. Oh, the beginning of the end. The Adam Silver wants to raise the age limit, approves sleeve jerseys, and says sponsorship patches on uniforms will eventually occur. Yeah, I am. I think, and Kenrich Williams kicks out. Aaron Wiggins for three. No, short on that one, but another offensive rebound for OKC. Oh, no, he's backcourt. There's the turnover for Thunder. So, as far as the sponsorship packages go, obviously on mine, I don't have. This was right before the sponsorships came in, so I do not have the sponsor logo right here on them. But I think, and maybe this would diminish the amount that you could actually get from the sponsors, but I think the rule should be that the sponsor's logo needs to match the color scheme of the jersey. Meaning, if the Lakers are going to put one, for example, since this is the jersey that I have here, if the Lakers are going to put one up here, that's fine, but it needs to be purple. I don't care who it is that the sponsor is or what their colors are. It needs to match. There's the ad one for Pascal Siakam, the up and under, and scores it. It needs to match the color scheme of the jersey. If it's Microsoft sponsoring the Lakers, Microsoft needs to be in purple on this jersey. That, I think, would go a long way towards making the sponsorship packages or patches a lot more tolerable, in my opinion. All right, here comes Alex Caruso bringing the ball up. Oh, there's almost a turnover. Nembhard fighting. 937 J Money said, what adjustments did Thunder make to make such a big difference? This game feels so different. I mean, part of it is just shot making. They're doing a much better job making shots, and that's kept the Pacers from being able to run off of missed looks. They shot the ball terribly, the Thunder did in game one. They missed the three there on that one. But the Thunder are doing a better job hanging on to the basketball. They're capitalizing on mistakes by Indiana, and they're doing a really good job forcing the Pacers into just some tough looks. But it reminds me a little bit of the first half to a greater degree, but of the first half of game one, where the Thunder seemed to be in control. Siakam scores there, and then Indiana cleaned some things up at halftime, stopped turning the ball over so much, and they got themselves back in the game. J-Dub misses there. 2:45 to play, 52-36. Nesmith. And just like that, 52-39, the Pacers, maybe they do have them right where they want them. So I just think a lot of it is just improved shot making. They shot 39% from the field, the Thunder did in game one. They're at 50% right now. They do have 7 turnovers, which is higher than you would expect. I believe that's more than they had in game one. I want to say they had 6 in game one. But I think the Thunder are also doing a great job on the offensive glass, creating second chance scoring opportunities. 5 offensive boards for OKC. Yeah, a lot of it is just the finishing, though. And that's really all they needed to do was shoot a little bit better in game one, and they were just fine. Do you think this Thunder team is ref differently? Seems like they get away with playing more physically than others. I do think there's an element of that. Yeah. But I also think part of that is because they're so aggressive, it's hard to call everything. And part of that is just the psychology of officiating, and the Thunder take advantage of it. So I don't think it's necessarily intentional, but the Thunder just are so aggressive with the way they defend. And part of it, too, is, I mean, look at their team. SGA is a good player, a good defensive player, right? Obviously, he's the league MVP, but a good defensive player. On top of that, you've got Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso that are out there, plus Lou Dort. You have, with SGA out there, that's 4 of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. That's going to create a lot of turnovers. That's going to create a lot of chaos. It's not just the referees creating this Thunder defense. Part of it is they've got really damn good individual defensive players that play together defensively. And SGA slithers to the basket there and scores over Siakam. 54-39. Siakam on the drive. Siakam got contact. See, that's where Siakam got a lot of contact. No whistle, Caruso. That's where, if you're saying the Thunder get a different whistle than everybody else, Siakam probably should have been going to the free throw line. And there, it's a 5-point swing. Turned into a 3 by Alex Caruso going the other way. 57-39. That's a big swing in a game like this. And there, the turnover. Poked away from behind there. Nembhard loses it. Caruso, again, back-to-back threes? No. Here comes Halliburton. 57-39. The Pacers hanging on for dear life right now. They need a run. They need like a little 5-0 run here to close the half. The Pacers do. Siakam spins, gets into the paint, loses it. But even there, Siakam had his man out of position, spun, got the defender in the air, and the Thunder are reaching in, knocking the ball away. Part of it is they're just a great defensive team. Could Steve Ballmer sponsor the Lakers via Microsoft and make them put a Clippers logo on their jerseys? No, I think the NBA would step in at that point. And I guess I shouldn't have used Microsoft as my example. It could have been Apple, could have been whatever company you want. Could have thrown in there. And the missed free throw there from Siakam. Pacers can't afford that right now. And Pascal Siakam at the free throw line. Second free throw. Knocks that one down. 57-40. Thunder lead. The Pacers, it's all about a few stops. Rick Carlisle looks like the type of guy who goes to sleep sitting in a chair instead of bed. I've done that a few times. And the Pacers get scored on going the other way. 59-40. J-Dub getting all the way to the rim. Here comes Halliburton into the paint. Halliburton kicks out. Nesmith for three. No. Has the devil magic worn off on the Indiana Pacers? The Crossroads Demons charm gone here. 45 seconds to play in the half. 19-point Thunder lead. Here comes Siakam. Look at the pressure from Caruso. Nesmith, good slip to the basket. He gets blocked. Toppin finds it. 6 on the clock. Siakam, there was a foul by Caruso. No call. Siakam, step back three. No. But it gets his own rebound. 11 on the shot clock. 20 on the game clock. Here comes Halliburton. This Thunder defense making the Pacers work. Halliburton for three. Way off. Another offensive rebound for the Pacers. Now they can hold for the last shot of the half. And they need to. Nembhard gets fouled. Flips it up. No, but it'll go to the free throw line with 4.1 seconds left in the half. 59-40. Thunder lead. Now, can the Pacers make a run here in the second half? And if they keep missing free throws, that's not going to help. Nembhard misses the first. Need a free throw, and then you have 4.1 seconds. You got to get a stop here if you're Indiana. Now, teams are prepared for these situations. And look at that. Oh, the turnover by the Thunder. They tried to go too fast. Nembhard at the buzzer. Air ball. 59-41 at halftime. Pacers had an opportunity to make it interesting, but dominant second quarter for the Thunder. 33-21 was the score of the second quarter. 59-41 overall. The Indiana Pacers have got to figure some things out at halftime. 35% from the field for the Pacers, 32% from three. Give the Thunder defense credit. 9 turnovers for Indiana, way too many. By the way, Indiana turned the ball over 25 times in game one. Mathematically, it is so difficult to win a basketball game and turn it over that much. Even 9.5 is too high. That's too many turnovers for these Pacers. Meanwhile, 8 turnovers for the Thunder is actually very uncharacteristic of them. They're normally a very low turnover team, but 57% from the free throw line. Pacers can't be leaving points there if they're going to come back in this thing. By the way, I have still had OKC winning this series in terms of my prediction. I initially predicted Thunder in 5. Wouldn't shock me if it goes 6 now. I still have the Thunder winning the series, but we'll see if the Pacers can make a game out of this in the second half. 31% from three, but 35% from the field. Yeah, I mean they're just shooting poorly. That's a big part of this. Lots of contact on these paint drives. Yeah. Glad they're not calling these, but I wish it was like this during the regular season, as Kevin notes. The Thunder are definitely getting away with a lot of contact in the paint. We've definitely seen that. Oh, Christian and Scooby doing the halftime show in OKC. If you haven't seen them before, they're fantastic. But the little dog that he's got does all the tricks and everything. It's a lot of fun. Is this the most difficult road arena to win in? I think it's one of them. I mean, this crowd is loud. It's a loud crowd. Reminds me a little bit of like the Utah Jazz back in the late 90s. That arena got loud. All right, everybody. Halftime. And I'm going to take a short little break here for halftime. I'll be right back in just a few moments, and we'll see if the Pacers can come back in this thing the way they did in game one. Be back in just a few moments, everybody. All right, everybody. Welcome back. We'll see how the second half goes here. If the Pacers can make a game of this thing, 59-41 is the score at halftime with OKC up, looking to level the series at one apiece. Remember, though, the Pacers were down at halftime in game one, and yet they found a way. So maybe this thing, it isn't over, especially with this Pacers team. They have made a regular habit out of insane, seemingly impossible comebacks. DJ the Truth as to the Knicks run it back. By the way, guys, while we're here at halftime, ask me anything. Fire off your questions, your comments, all that. Do the Knicks run it back? And if they trade someone, is Cat the most likely move piece? I do think there's a world where the Knicks just say, you know what, we changed the coach and that's enough. That's all we need to do. And we don't know who their coach is going to be just yet. That's still very much up in the air. But I think it is possible that the Knicks run it back with the exception of Tom Thibodeau being replaced and say that's enough of a change to get us to where we want to go. I could see something like that happening. That said, I think they'll try to be opportunistic, and if the right move is there, they'll make it. But I think they have to be careful. In the East, there's opportunity there, and I don't think they have to do anything drastic to be the team coming out of the East. Mike Malone, it could wind up being him. It could. It appears they want somebody with prior head coaching experience. They don't want a rookie head coach. So we'll see who they ultimately land with. But Michael Malone would be an interesting fit. He's a CAA guy as well, which, you know, that may actually matter. Quick question. Do you think we could squeeze a first-round pick out of Utah if we send Austin and Connect for Kessler? Well, that's a lot of money going out too. When you add up Austin and Connect, what is that? 17 million. So, I mean, that in and of itself has some value. The amount of money that you're saving there and doing a deal like that. I'd be surprised if you could get the Jazz to give up Kessler and a first for anything. I think conceptually they're going to be looking for multiple firsts plus a young player for Walker Kessler. But I don't. That's if they will even consider trading him. That's if they'll even consider, and I don't necessarily think they're going to. Did the Mavs decline the Knicks from interviewing Jason Kidd? So that's something that Mark Stein had. I believe that was either today or yesterday. It's all blurring together. But that the Mavs would indeed decline the request for an interview from the New York Knicks if they wanted to interview Jason Kidd, which was interesting because at first Stein wasn't hearing that. At first, it was Houston immediately shut down the idea of Ime Udoka getting interviewed, and the Mavs were just kind of silent on the idea of Jason Kidd getting interviewed by the Knicks. And now Stein said that what he's heard is that ultimately, if push comes to shove, if the Knicks wanted Jason Kidd, the Mavs would say no. So if that's true, if that is indeed the case, then that's it. Game over. No Jason Kidd to New York. It does. Even if Jason Kidd goes to the Mavs and says, I want to go to the Knicks, doesn't matter. He's got 2 more years under contract. Now, in a lot of situations like this, a team will say, okay, fine, you don't want to be here. Let's do something. But if the Mavs really don't want Jason Kidd to go to the Knicks, he's under contract to their club. They don't have to. They don't have to. Cap question. Would we be allowed to do a deal where we send Brooklyn, Gabe, a swap, and 55th for a Brooklyn second to open up the full MLE? Yes. Yeah, that's allowed. You want to send the Brooklyn Nets stuff in exchange for taking on a contract? Sure. You can do that. Now, that wouldn't quite be enough to open up the full MLE because that would put the Lakers about 14 or about $15 million below the first apron. And the full MLE is 14.1 million. So if you spent all of that, then you're hard capped at about $1 million below that first apron, and you can't fill out the rest of your roster at that point. So even that would not be enough savings as of right now, unless other things can happen. LeBron takes $5 million less or something. I'm not expecting it. Dorian Finney-Smith comes back on a 3-year, $30 million deal at $10 million per instead of $15 million. Like there's other things that can happen to open up wiggle room, but that's just offloading Gabe Vincent for $0 in return. Probably not enough to effectively open the full mid-level exception for the Lakers. Oh, Gabe and Shake, you said there. Okay, Gabe and Shake. I don't even know if Shake is in the calculations right now for the Lakers because he's non-guaranteed for next year. And I think the general assumption is that he will not see his $3 million picked up. That instead they'll just waive him. Or if they do pick it up, it'll just be to put him in a trade. So that may not do a whole lot for the Lakers when we look at their overall salary calculations. I would be surprised if Shake Milton is back. The nice thing about his contract is the Lakers don't have to make a decision on that until July 20th, I believe. So they can go all the way through the free agency period, the bulk of the busy trade season, and know whether or not they need Shake Milton's contract in a trade. And then if they don't, they just waive him. And that's that. I don't think he will be on the team as a player, which is really unfortunate, honestly, because had Shake Milton worked out and been a guy for the Lakers this year, he's on a very team-friendly contract this year and next year. It's a nice kind of player if he had wound up being a rotation player, but didn't wind up happening. Imagine if we tried to trade for Sharp rather than Melton. I am perplexed by this. I have no idea. Like, that was, from what I've heard, that wasn't even something that was really seriously discussed, the idea of trading for Day'Ron Sharpe, until the Lakers went, oh, wait, we need a center, and called up Brooklyn right before the trade deadline about Day'Ron Sharpe. But at the time of the Dorian Finney-Smith trade, it wasn't something that they were looking at. Which makes they needed a big, even before the Luka trade, though. So it was definitely a missed opportunity. Again, I'm bewildered at why they didn't attempt to do that. I would assume it would cost more than what it did with Shake Milton, but the fact that they didn't even have that conversation, at least from what I've heard, that's not ideal. Halliburton over to Miles Turner. Miles Turner on the drive, challenges Chet, and Chet fouls him. And Turner will go to the free throw line. Second half underway here, 59-41, Thunder lead. I think LeBron learned from last season, DJ said, that he can't proclaim the pay cut to open up the MLE because it worked against him. So he put it out there that he's going to opt in. I don't think he'll do it, though. I would counter that. I've heard from people within the league, within the NBA, that LeBron essentially created a no-lose situation. That he sent Rob Pelinka on a fool's errand with his offer for a pay cut last year and making that public, because he comes out looking great no matter what. Whereas Rob Pelinka looks terrible if LeBron winds up having to just take the full money, which is what he did last year. Because LeBron said, I'll take a pay cut. All you got to do is go get me Clay or James Harden or whoever. Turner misses the three there. And of course, you weren't necessarily going to get those guys for a full mid-level exception. But everybody says, oh, LeBron, how gracious of him to offer to take less money. And then when he winds up taking the whole amount of money, it's, what's wrong with the Lakers? Why didn't they take him up on this offer? Why couldn't they take advantage of him? What a mistake by the Lakers, right? When in reality, it was going to be very, very difficult to get any of those guys that LeBron wanted for the full MLE. And then there's Valanciunas, who was on the list. And people say, well, why did he at least get him? Well, I mean, what I heard is that LeBron wasn't willing to take enough less to give Valanciunas a full MLE. Like, it was more like you were going to give Valanciunas like $5 million, and LeBron wasn't willing to take. He would take a bigger pay cut to get, say, James Harden or Klay Thompson than Valanciunas. So, anyway, that said, if you're the Lakers, you still want the opportunity, of course. But I don't know that it's necessarily a situation where LeBron learned his lesson, because LeBron was going to come out looking good no matter what. Either the Lakers were going to get the guy that they wanted, And hey, thank you, LeBron, for taking a pay cut. Or it was going to be, hey, look how amazing LeBron is. He offered to take a pay cut. Oh, the damn Lakers didn't get anybody with it, though. So it depends on your perspective, of course, on that situation. Miles Turner at the free throw line, 62-45 right now, Thunder lead. Who's going to win football next year? The Chiefs or the Eagles? Oh, I have no idea. Could be somebody else. Maybe it's the Detroit Lions. I don't know. NFL, there's a lot of parity in it. There's always a surprise team or two there. Football season, though, it's right around the corner. Well, a few months away anyway. 62-46 right now. The lead doesn't feel safe. No, look, if the Pacers cut it to, let's say they cut it to 12 by the start of the fourth, there could be some nervous moments in OKC. Cason Wallace, a little pull-up 10-footer, knocks that down. 64-46. Have I thought about doing a mock-off season within Lakers Nation where there's like some sort of a tournament? What, in terms of coming up with, Miles Turner, the Euro step but can't finish. Studio Stu checking in. I don't know if you guys can all see him, but Studio Stu checking in right here for everybody. Something like that would take a lot as SGA hits the pull-up and the lead's back to 20, 66-46. That might take a lot to administer something like that. Probably more manpower required than what I've got available. Nembhard in the paint, kicks out. Turner for three. Big shot here. Knocks it down. Studio Stu checking in. He's hanging out. And here's SGA. Nembhard defending along the baseline. SGA backing him down. The double comes from Siakam. SGA gets a friendly whistle there, as he tends to do. And he's going to go to the free throw line. Tam, the pessimist, says, Trev, is it just me? Rather than 2026, I'm targeting 2027 when Giannis and Jokic are going to be free agents, barring any extensions. Well, that's just it. It's so hard to peg any year as the year a bunch of free agents are going to be available because so many guys do take the extensions now. So it's tough to say that that's definitely what they're going to do. That Jokic can get an extension this summer and frankly probably will. So that's tough. He's pushing back on a gap year, rather focusing on a 2-year plan before 2027 free agency. Again, that 2027 free agency may not look that great by the time it comes up. So many guys do extensions now. It makes it so, for the most part, I mean, Paul George was the biggest name to change teams via free agency since, I think, Jalen Brunson before him. So it's not like a lot of guys are switching teams via free agency anymore. Instead, guys are largely changing teams via trade now. Miles Turner, the little weave here by the Pacers. Ball knocked out of bounds there as Halliburton tried to turn the corner. 9 seconds on the shot clock, and it's 68-49. Thunder lead. There's Sam Presti, the architect of this Thunder team. Nesmith gets the ball in the corner. Dort defending him. Nesmith spins and falls down. Siakam gets it on the kick out for three. No. The Pacers, who are so great at hitting the big shot, can't score. Cason Wallace throws it over to J-Dub. J-Dub loses it for a second, recovers it. SGA now. The Pacers defense scrambling. 10 on the shot clock. SGA going at Nembhard. Kicks it over. J-Dub for three. No. Stu, the studio cat here. Siakam on the drive, had a path to the basket. The Thunder closed that off quickly. Turner flies in, keeps it alive. Siakam is going to go to the free throw line. Tell you what, Stu the Studio Cat has been all out of sorts for the last few days. My daughter has been at her grandparents' place visiting, and he is normally very attached to her and hanging out with her all the time. He has made recording not easy. He has been all over me, just constantly wanting pets and attention and all that. And so here he is right now. And Siakam hits his first free throw, taking a second now. Short. Nope. Gets it to go. Crawls up over the rim. 68-51. Thunder lead. Again, this Pacers team, you can never count them out. They're capable of going on some insane runs. Have had, five times they've come back from down 15 in just these playoffs. Not the season, just the playoffs. Unbelievable. SGA misses the three. Turner with the rebound. Here comes Halliburton. Halliburton in the paint, drops it off to Turner. Nice find. Turner, no! The little turnaround hook doesn't go. Nesmith, the three, off the offensive rebound. Money! 68-54. Big bucket there for the Pacers. The Thunder sensed it, called a quick timeout. 14-point lead. Indiana, just chip away. Chip away, and I'll tell you this, everybody, if Indiana gets this to within, even if it's within 7 with a couple of minutes left, the Thunder might start to tighten up a little bit. They're going to start to second guess. They're going to start to say, oh no, not again. Everyone in Indiana waiting for the regression in shooting percentage. Yeah. Right. I mean, the Thunder right now, 51% from the field, 36% from three. The 3-point shooting isn't abnormal, but Indiana needs regression on both sides. They need the Thunder to drop down from their 51% field goal shooting, and they need the Pacers to start hitting some shots. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's 1 of 5 shooting, 3 points in the game so far for Halliburton. That's not enough. 35% from the field for Indiana. They are not shooting the ball well enough. They need to go on a tear here. They really need to go on a run. And Halliburton's got to get going. He was robbed of an assist that last possession, had a really nice find to Turner, and Turner just wasn't able to convert. But Halliburton has to get going. He's got to get going here. And he certainly can. And we've seen him get going very quickly. And next thing you know, he goes invincible mode and he's hitting insane shots. But he's got to do it. All right. Let me throw the link out here again on X so people can come hang out. All right. They're rocking to Stand Up and Shout from that movie Rockstar from way back when in the arena right now. Pacers need to hang around and Thunder will get tight. Sky Falcon says, yeah, I agree. Just hang in there. cut it to by the start of the fourth, cut it to like 9, and they're right there. They're right there. All right. Here comes OKC bringing the ball up out of a timeout. Obviously, they'd like to score and reclaim a little bit of momentum here. J-Dub on the curl, flips it up. No, but gets a friendly whistle. And he'll go to the free throw line. That's exactly what the Thunder wanted. Easy points at the free throw line. Reestablish control of this thing. Do I think Indiana can realistically win this? If it was any other team, I'd be saying, yeah, the Pacers are probably gonna, or the Pacers are probably not going to be able to come back in this thing, or the Thunder are going to run away with it. But Indiana's just made a habit out of this, out of these insane comebacks. So you just can't count them out. If there's anybody else, would be saying, yep, this is what you expected. The Thunder are going to cruise and all of that. Nesmith, Turner, inside, Nembhard wide open, scores it. 69-56. It's 13 and still 7 minutes to play in the third. Hartenstein hits a cutting Caruso. Very nice. Nesmith turned his head. Caruso, the baseline cut. Easy bucket and a great find by Hartenstein. And then a turnover. The Pacers turned it over at the worst possible time, right when they were looking to cut the lead. Here's SGA backing down Nembhard. The double comes. The swing. Caruso, corner three. Money. The Thunder responding to this Pacers push here. Get the lead back up to 18, 74-56. Turner gets the ball out beyond the three-point line. Halliburton back to Turner. 15-footer. Yes. If they even need to cut it to 9 at the end of the quarter, yeah, they could. It could be 12, 13, 14. You can't count these Pacers out. You just can't. I mean, Nesmith went berserk from 3 to close the game. SGA hits the 15-footer. Halliburton's got to get going here. Halliburton out to Turner. Turner pump fakes the 3. Back to Halliburton. Halliburton, Siakam. Caruso bumps him, and there's a foul. And Caruso's not happy with that. AC, I love you, man, but you've gotten away with a lot this game. Don't complain about getting called on that one. It was a foul. And Siakam gets the first free throw to go. And here's Siakam, the second free throw coming. And knocks it down. 16-point game, 76-60. 5:35 to play in the third. SGA gets the screen, gets into the paint. Good recovery there by Nembhard, but it's Wiggins for 3. Yes. The Thunder playing smart, knocking down shots, doing everything they can to tell the Pacers not this time. No comeback this time. 19-point game, 79-60. That's just the Pacers defense getting sucked into the paint there by SGA and leaving Wiggins. And yeah, that's a clear foul there by Caruso. 79-60. Siakam at the free throw line. The Thunder, every time the Pacers have really cut it and looked to threaten to make this, say, a 12, 11, 10-point game, the Thunder have responded with a mini run of their own. They don't want to risk this thing. They know they have to win game 2 here. By the way, the Thunder's jersey patch is one of the ones I'm talking about. When I say it's got to match the color scheme of the jersey, boy, that Loves logo does not match the jersey at all. It stands out like a sore thumb. SGA working on Nembhard. SGA kicks out, little zone defense there from the Pacers, and they turn it over. Here comes Halliburton. Halliburton into the paint. Looking for a pass. Finds Toppin. Nembhard into the paint. Nembhard. Pump fake. Gets contact. Ball deflected. Caruso tried to save it. Going to be Pacer ball on the sideline. 12 seconds on the shot clock. 79-62 Thunder lead. Thunder did a really nice job shutting down that break off the turnover. Halliburton for 3. He needed it. No. He needed one to go. The Pacers needed one to go. No. But it looks like the referees are conferring Pacers ball. They originally signaled Thunder ball. So they pointed the wrong way. Yeah, I think that's the right call. I think it's Pacers ball. Yep. Out off of Williams. So 14 on the shot clock. Pacer ball. Shepard's going to kick it back out here to Obi Toppin. Hallie into the paint. Kicks out. Toppin for 3. Big shot here. No. Pacers can't seem to get the big shots to drop so far in this game. 79-62. 4:25 to play in the third. SGA on the drive into the paint. Flips it up. No. Toppin the rebound. Here comes Nembhard. Shepard on the far side, wide open. Shepard looked to attack the Jalen Williams closeout, but Jalen Williams did a nice job getting wide and preventing the drive there. Nembhard. Halliburton, the floater. Finally, Halliburton gets one to go and has something to say to the official. Thought he got contact there. 79-64 with 4 minutes to play in the third. J-Dub's got the ball up top. Shepard now switching on to him. They gave him way too much of a seam. That was just poor defensive positioning there by Shepard. Just gave Williams the lane. And he's going to go to the free throw line right now. Lisa said Thunder not letting that happen again. Denver won the first game too. Yeah, I agree, Lisa. I do think ultimately this is probably one of those games where the Thunder just keep their opponent at arm's length. They hold them off, and then they go on a big run late and run away with the thing. That's probably the way this is going to play out, but it's the Pacers, and you can't put anything past them just because they have done it so many times. That's my only hesitation. If this were anybody else, we'd be saying the Thunder are in really good shape. Jalen Williams hits the second one. 81-64. Here comes McConnell. Toppin to Halliburton. Caruso defending help. God, the Thunder just have so many good perimeter defenders. Look at how tough they're making it on Halliburton. Halliburton with the turnover. SGA swipes it. I mean, that's just almost not fair. The level of defense that they throw at you is insane. SGA, he's got Caruso to SGA to Jalen Williams to SGA reaching back in and getting the steal. Like, that's what you have to deal with on a defense, on a possession. Oh my God. And we talked earlier about the Clippers and are they going to make it happen with this group? The Clippers created this Thunder team. Both SGA and Jalen Williams arrived via the Paul George trade. Jalen Williams via one of the picks and SGA in the trade itself. So the Clippers got to be looking at this team saying, this could have been us. Thank God for the second apron. Yeah, look, at some point, it may not be this year, may not be next year, but these Thunder guys are going to get paid. Now, one of the things I think we should keep an eye on with the Thunder moving forward here is they have 2 picks in this year's draft. They could consolidate those picks and try to move up, but it also wouldn't shock me if the Thunder take these picks and kick the can down the road. They already did it last year and traded for a future Denver pick because they've got so many guys under contract. They don't need more rookies. They have Nikola Topic that they drafted. They drafted him last year. He's been hurt all year. He was a really interesting player in last year's draft, and he hasn't played all year. They'll have him coming in next year. So it wouldn't shock me to see the Thunder take their draft capital this year if they can't use it to move up and just trade it for future draft capital. Kick the can down the road a little bit because they don't even really have space or room to draft players right now. But yes, the second apron could at some point prove challenging for the Thunder. Now, the smart thing is they've structured their contracts well. So when Chet has to get paid, when J-Dub has to get paid, that's when Isaiah Hartenstein's on a team option. I think Lou Dort is on a team option that year. Sam Presti has done a really good job structuring his contracts the right way. I wish we could say that for every GM, that they structure contracts appropriately, because that's certainly not something that we've seen from, every team out there. Not to name any names, but Michael Morales says, do this every game. What, a play-by-play? I enjoy doing play-by-play. I think we've seen, and we see this over on Lakers Nation too, we tend to see more traction in the post-game reactions than in the play-by-play. I'm not going to do a post-game reaction on this one, but I do enjoy the live play-by-plays, and we have gained a lot of traction on play-by-plays, and more people tuning in to watch them and all that over on Lakers Nation. But just in general, a lot of people would immediately jump in and react to what we just saw. So I don't know if I'll do play-by-play next game or if I'll just do a reaction to Game 3. But no, I do really. Now that I've been doing this for a full season, I did it for the full Lakers season this year. We did it, I think, almost all of last year as well. But I've really started to enjoy doing this and calling games more than I think I anticipated that I would. To the point where I've missed, because we did every Lakers game, I've missed doing the play-by-play portion of it. Charismatic Character said, do we really need a small forward on the Lakers? Yeah. DJ said a small forward that can guard 1 through 3. Yeah. That's a big part of the problem with the Lakers is they've got too many guys that are at their best defending 4s. When we talk about Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, Luka can be in that category. They need guys who can defend 1 through 3. They don't have enough of those types of players. Nesmith for 3. Money. Don't want to see him get going if you're a Thunder fan. 83-67, now still a 16-point lead for OKC. 3 minutes and change to play in the third. And SGA gets the bumping foul on Benedict Mathurin. And that's some free throws for the free throw merchant himself, SGA. It wouldn't shock me if the Lakers, as begrudgingly as it would be, turned Rui Hachimura into a smaller player. Particularly if they felt like they were getting their big or bigs in another move. Wouldn't shock me. That said, Rui shoots so well from behind the arc. They don't have to be in a rush to move him, but they do need a good, versatile defensive player. If we're talking free agents, I actually recorded something on free agent shooting guards that I'm going to release in the morning. But a Bruce Brown, a Nickeil Alexander-Walker, someone along those lines would make a lot of sense for LA. Not saying they can get them, but just that type of player. 85-67 is the score here. 2:50 to play in the third. Mathurin Kicks it over to Neesmith. Thomas Bryant's on the floor right now. Neesmith into the paint. Toppin for three. Gets fouled. No call, or at least he thought he got fouled by Kenrich Williams. Here come the Thunder. Chet going the other way. Williams blocked by Thomas Bryant. But the ball touched out of bounds by the Pacers. Here's Kenrich Williams going up. Oh, it was a goaltend. Thomas Bryant's arm went up through the rim to block that shot, and the refs missed it. A goaltend there for former Laker Thomas Bryant. Got away with one. SGA, the fadeaway, hits it, and the Thunder seemed determined to not let the Pacers back into this game. 20-point OKC lead now, 87-67. And TJ McConnell hits the pull-up 15-footer, much needed for the Pacers. And another foul. Neesmith not happy with the call. That's more free throws coming now to OKC. Talk some Knicks. I mean, the Knicks first, they got to figure out who their coach is going to be, and then they'll have some decisions to make. Not a lot of capital to trade when we talk about draft picks. There's not a lot there that they can move. They traded most of it for Mikal Bridges. If they decide they want to move one of their core guys, even if it's a Josh Hart or Bridges, Anunoby, Brunson, Cat, there's going to be some interest. But aside from those guys, it'll be interesting to see what they do, because there's not a lot of room. But I don't think they have to necessarily make some big dramatic move either. They were without Mitchell Robinson for much of the season. They can continue to get him integrated, add a piece or two here, and in a wide open Eastern Conference, that may be all they need. 89-69. Here's McConnell getting into the paint, kicks out. Neesmith looking to get hot from three, and he hits another one. Ooh, Nas22 says, what do you think about Ayton to LA? I'll talk about that in a minute. Caruso to Chet. SGA. Mathurin defending. SGA has really done well in the Mathurin minutes. Step back three for SGA. No, over Bryant. Here comes McConnell trying to push the pace. McConnell touches the paint. And the Thunder do a nice job getting back, preventing any easy opportunities. Here, Mathurin trying to break down Chet. Neesmith attacking the closeout on Caruso. Finds Bryant inside. Bryant will go to the free throw line. Okay, so Ayton, look, I wouldn't mind. Yeah, he's in a contract year, as Tam the Pessimist said. I wouldn't mind seeing the Lakers take a flyer on DeAndre Ayton if he were making, say, $20 million. The problem is he's making $36 million. And so what that means is effectively, without even considering whether or not the Blazers even want any of these pieces, for the Lakers to get their salary-wise, remember, they have to send out more money than they take back. You're building something off of Rui. It's Rui Hachimura plus Maxi Kleber plus Gabe Vincent in order to get DeAndre Ayton. And there's an opportunity cost with that as well, because you're trading away your two primary expiring contracts that you're going to try to use as trade chips during the summer. So if Ayton was making $20 million, it's much easier to make something work there. But at $36 million, you just have to stack up so many contracts. I think that's the challenge with him. There's an argument to be made for taking a flyer on him, but just to make the math work, you're going to have to give up something significant. Great high-low pass. Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren with the flush. Great lob there from Hartenstein. Well played by the Thunder, 91-73. If there were no picks involved, that's interesting. But then why does Portland do it? Portland doesn't want Rui. Portland certainly doesn't want Gabe. Don't want Maxi Kleber. So where's the incentive for Portland to do it? Not to mention they really don't like the Lakers. Would you trade for Valanciunas as a stopgap? Before I would trade stuff to get a guy like Valanciunas, I would just see if I could get like Clint Capella with my taxpayer mid-level. If I could do that, I'd rather do that than give up stuff to get Valanciunas. Mathurin makes one, misses one. 91-74. 50 seconds left. Here comes SGA. And to do that, I would have to be, even to go for Capella, I would have to be convinced I'm not getting the guy, the long-term fit at center. SGA on the drive. Oh, SGA drops Mathurin, misses the floater. Isaiah Hartenstein, the offensive rebound. Holmgren for three. No. Mathurin finally brings down the board. 25 seconds left. Mathurin loses it. SGA pokes it away from behind. McConnell knocks it away from SGA, but Chet Holmgren recovers. Holmgren on the drive behind the back, and a blocking foul on Nesmith. And that's more, you guessed it, free throws for OKC. So difficult against this Thunder team. 12 turnovers right now for the Pacers. And the big moments have gone the way of the Thunder. Holmgren hits the first free throw. 16 seconds left in the quarter. Tyrese Halliburton checking in. $92.74 right now. Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that Luka could get the best out of DeAndre Ayton. It's simply the logistics of making it work. Making the money work. Nesmith blocked by Cason Wallace behind the three-point line. 5.2 seconds on the clock, and it's going to be Pacer ball. Baseline out of bounds. Nice closeout. Again, it's unreal. Unreal, the perimeter defenders that the Thunder have. Thomas Bryant has it up top. Drops it off to Nesmith. Nesmith into the paint. Flips it up. No. 93-74 OKC lead. Is 19 enough of a lead for OKC heading into the fourth? OKC wins the third, 34-33. The Pacers scored just fine that quarter, 33 points, but OKC had their highest scoring quarter of the game as well with 34. So from the Pacers' perspective, a waste of a third quarter. You actually lost ground in that quarter rather than coming back at all. Now you're down 19 heading into the fourth. Again, though, we've seen this Pacers team come back plenty. Can't count them out. I personally think OKC's in good shape here, but you just never know with this Pacers side. Good way to put it. Al Farkash said, if the Blazers agree to trade with us, it's probably a trade we shouldn't do. Kind of like the Clippers, right? Like the fact that the Clippers would do the Ivica Zubac trade should have been all the proof the Lakers needed to not do that trade, right? Oh, what they asked for Jeremy Grant. Yeah, like was it Rui and multiple firsts for Jeremy Grant? I wouldn't even give up Rui straight up. I'd rather have Rui straight up than Jeremy Grant. I still have Gafford as my top target with Claxton coming in next. Gafford is a bit chunkier than Nick Claxton. Sure, he is, and has played with Luka already. And a lot of people, they'll point to the salaries, and that's true for now, but Gafford's going to want a big deal at his next contract. So while Gafford's contract looks better than Nick Claxton's right now, that may not be the case when Gafford gets his next payday. So just something to keep in mind with that. But overall, it's still it's still something to consider if you can get Daniel Gafford, especially because the opportunity cost of trading away, so many contracts. If you can get Daniel Gafford for Gabe, Vincent, and Dalton Connect, and I'm not saying that's what the Mavs would take. I'm saying as part of, maybe it's a 3-team trade or whatever. There's value to that versus Gabe, Maxey, plus Connect just to get there math-wise for a guy like Claxton or Rui and something. It's easier to trade for, simply math-wise, to trade for Daniel Gafford. Davion Mitchell, I think is probably going to wind up staying with Miami. He's restricted, and it's going to be really tough for a team like the Lakers to beat any kind of an offer there, or to get the Miami Heat to blink, even if they offer the full taxpayer mid-level. I don't know if they blink on that. AC/DC's Thunder playing there in the arena. Great song. It's ironic the best fit right now for LA is Anthony Davis. I mean, it's true. It could be true for a number of teams, though. All right, here we go. Fourth quarter starting, and we've got Indiana trailing by 19. OKC starts with the ball. On the attack, it's Hartenstein right at the rim. He scores it. 21-point OKC lead. Right now, the Thunder look to be in pretty good shape. Pascal Siakam, Nembhard, Halliburton travels. Wow. About as bad of a start as you can get for the fourth quarter for the Pacers. A score at the rim, followed by a Pacers turnover. I don't know, everybody. The Pacers have been the comeback kids, but tonight may just not be their night. Here's Williams. Pump fakes, kicks out. Caruso to Wiggins. Wiggins with Shepherd defending him. Wiggins on the drive and gets the ball knocked away. 1 second on the clock. Thunder ball on the baseline. And Caruso's going to inbound it here. Cason Wallace gets blocked, and there's a turnover for the Thunder. See if the Pacers can get something going here. If the Pacers come back and win this thing, it will be yet another epic comeback in a postseason that has featured so many of them. Miles Turner dunks all over Isaiah Hartenstein. What a slam. With authority, Turner throws that down. And nice back tap there by Caruso. Wiggins for three. No. Another offensive rebound. That's back-to-back offensive rebounds for the Thunder, and Wiggins knocks down the three. That's what offensive rebounds will do. They turn into open threes, and the Thunder just made the Pacers pay for giving up that many offensive rebounds on a possession. Halliburton turns it over. Another Pacer turnover. This Thunder defense swarming. Wiggins again. No, missed it badly, but another offensive rebound. Oh, my goodness. OKC seemed determined to get this one. 9 offensive rebounds on the night compared to just 6 for the Pacers. Those are mattering right now. And here's J-Dub. Into the paint, kicks out. Caruso, open corner three. No. Another offensive rebound. Hartenstein keeps it alive. Caruso fouled. No bucket, though. They're saying it was on the ground. The Thunder, though, looking to seal this thing. Dimitri said Claxton is mediocre at best and not worth the first. He's okay. He's okay. I think if you were giving up a first for Claxton, you are betting on you're betting on Luka getting the best out of Claxton, and that Claxton has been on a bad team, that mattering in terms of his overall production. And good defense there at the rim for the Pacers, but the Thunder come away with the ball yet again. 3 on the clock. Wiggins, 1 on the clock. Wiggins flips it up. No. Can the Pacers get a rebound? No. Oh, but it is knocked out by the Thunder. I thought the Pacers touched that last, but it's going to be Pacer ball. 98-76. And Daigneault tried to get the timeout to challenge, but the Pacers inbounded it quickly before he could. Halliburton, the runner, hits it. Back to a 20-point game, 98-78. Nice job by the Pacers to inbound that quickly. And Siakam called for a foul. Siakam's not happy. Yeah, that ball was definitely off the Pacers. The Thunder not able to get the timeout quickly enough to challenge. Still in good shape, though. And Caruso flips it up, and he'll go back to the free throw line. The Thunder now taking 22 free throws in the game, but the Pacers at 21. So it's been close there. The offensive rebounds, though, piling up for the Thunder. 11 offensive boards, 3 for Hartenstein, compared to 6 for the Indiana Pacers. Just 26 made field goals for the Pacers compared to 34 right now for the Thunder. Why is there no option in SpotTrack to check trades after July 1st when salaries change? There is. There is. You have to change the year that the trade's happening in. I'll look at it in just a second, but it's been a few days since I've looked at the trade machine, but there should be. Yeah, under select operating year, you just got to change it to 25-26. There's a bucket for J-Dub. 102-80, and the Pacers are just, they're staying afloat, but they're not going anywhere. They're dog paddling. They're treading water, but they're not making up any ground. Jalen Williams misses there. 8:30 to play, though, but this would be a monumental comeback if the Pacers were to get back in this one, and the Thunder are just swarming right now. And Nembhard tripped, fell down, and gets a whistle. Halliburton inbounds to Turner. Halliburton all the way to the rim. Throws it down. 102-82. 20-point game. 8 minutes to play. And a blocking foul there. And both Williams and Turner are a little shaken up. Turner's back on his feet, though. Smart play on that last one by the Pacers. The little back screen to free up the drive to the rim for Halliburton. Very nice. And Rick Carlisle takes a timeout. I don't know if he's challenging this. Oh, what a great shot they're showing there right now. Meta World Peace hugging Kobe, and then Kobe celebrating on the announce table. That was the 2010 championship. What a great moment in NBA history that was. Nick Claxton, Candy. I see people in the chat talking about whether or not he can shoot threes. I mean, I would hesitate to say he can. 0.3 attempts per game last season, and he hit 24%. Like, he shot a few. He took 21 threes last season in 70 games. So I wouldn't look at that and say, yes, he's a three-point shooter. And the Pacers challenge, but it's unsuccessful. It was a foul on Turner. So I would say with Claxton, that was probably more just, hey, we're a bad team anyway. Let's give you some reps shooting the three. On a good team, he's probably not taking that shot. Now, is it something he could develop and eventually be a three? Maybe. But I wouldn't look at what he's done historically, especially if we look at this past season and say, yeah, he's a three-point shooting big. And like I said, who knows? Maybe someday he gets. Look, Brook Lopez went in one season from a non-3-point shooting big to a three-point shoot to the three-point shooting big, right? But I would not right now look at Nick Claxton and say the three is a weapon for him. I will tell you the one thing that I love about Claxton is I love his timing. His timing on his shot blocking is phenomenal. He times his blocks so well. He doesn't have like a crazy wingspan. And so he times his blocks, especially coming from the weak side, so well. It reminds me of when Jackson Hayes shot the three on the Pelicans. Sure. Andrew Bynum on the Lakers. There was a year where I think the Wolves had Mark Madsen, former Laker Mark Madsen, shoot a bunch of threes when they were tanking. They had to lose a game, and so they had Mark Madsen shoot threes. It happens now and then. Doesn't necessarily mean the guy's a three-point shooter, though. All right, some more free throws coming here to OKC. 8 minutes to play in the game. The Thunder up 20 right now, but Jalen Williams go to the line to try to increase that lead. And Williams gets the first to go. And Kessler trying to shoot threes too. He may have indeed. I think I remember seeing that. And yes, he did. He did steal that Slim Reaper nickname. I mean, it makes sense. Claxton's like 6'11", 215 pounds. Halliburton for three. Yes. 7:45 to play. 104.85, but 19 points is a lot to try to make up in the amount of time remaining. The Thunder would have to start turning the ball over. Wiggins wide open for three. Yep. I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. Every chance. And Wiggins has been big for the Thunder this game, but every chance that the Pacers have had to get back in this thing, the Thunder have responded. Turner misses the three. Good job there by Shepherd to track it down. Open corner three for Toppin. No. And the ball knocked loose. Toppin, good hustle there from Shepherd. Halliburton on the drive. Halliburton throws it away. No. Mathurin gets it back. Mathurin on the drive, throws it out to Toppin. 12 on the clock. Toppin throws it into the first row, but it got deflected. 17 points for Wiggins. That's exactly what you needed. You needed somebody to step up and have a big night. Wiggins has done that for OKC. And all of it within rhythm, within the offense. And there's Mathurin getting his way to the free throw line. 107-85. But the Pacers have got to string together some stops and preferably live ball turnovers if they're going to catch up. They can't trade baskets. And for most of the half, that's all they've done really is trade baskets, if not give a little bit of ground. That's just not going to get it done. They have to catch up, and the Thunder have not allowed them to do that. Mathurin gets the first free throw to go. 107-86. And Mathurin gets both free throws to go, but again, we're back to just a 20-point game. 6:45 to play. And the Pacers trying to get aggressive here with their defense. They know they need to force some turnovers. SGA, the pull-up 15-footer, he knocks that down. If SGA is hitting that shot, ball game. Ball game. You need SGA to miss some of those, and he is not right now. And same thing with a number of Thunder players. Credit to OKC, bouncing back in a big way after game one. Toppin misses. Ball knocked out of bounds, though, by the Thunder. It'll be Pacer ball. %41% from the field for Indiana, but 49% for the Thunder. Mathurin into the paint. Good stop there and hits the 15-footer. Crafty there from Benedict Mathurin. But again, back to 20. Pacers have got to string together some stops here if they're going to turn this into something. Thunder probably a couple of minutes of just maintaining this lead away from sealing the deal here. And SGA gets fouled. They're in the bonus, so that's more free throws for OKC. Would I trade Reeves, Rui, Connect, and a first for Kessler and John Collins? No, that's too much. I wouldn't give up that much. I don't think John Collins has a tremendous positive value on his contract at $26 million, and then it expires. I like John Collins a lot, by the way. I like his game, but no, I think it's too much. Mathurin gets bumped, kicks out. Shepard, Halliburton for three. No, and that you start right there. Little bit of energy taken out of the Pacers. You can kind of feel it right now. The energy of the Pacers kind of shifting. I think they are starting to accept that tonight the comeback is not going to happen. Here comes Halliburton. Off the miss. Oh, how did Mathurin get that to go? Didn't look like he had any angle to hit that shot. And yet he got that up on the rim and scored it. 5 minutes to play, 20-point Thunder lead. The double to SGA. Jalen Williams turns it up. Well, maybe this is going to bring some life to the Pacers. Halliburton almost turned it over. McConnell to top it, and now they do turn it over. That opportunity right there off of the turnover to score, and the Thunder tracked all the way back. Nice transition defense for OKC. That right there, a defensive dagger, I think, by OKC. And that is so appropriate for them. The dagger comes not on the offensive end, but on the defensive end to stop a fast break off of a turnover like that and get the ball right back. Yep. And Halliburton, the fading corner three, suddenly comes to life. But is this kind of the Malik Beasley run here for Halliburton? Suddenly gets hot, but it's too little too late. It's garbage time already. 4 minutes to play. And we've got a timeout here by OKC. 111.94. Do I think the Cavs should try to get Sabonis in an Allen trade? I haven't thought about that. Sabonis and Jared Allen. They have Evan Mobley. But the Cavs, like some of the numbers show them playing better with Mobley out there by himself than with Allen, with a smaller group. It may not be the worst idea. In general, I don't love trading the rim protection that Jared Allen brings and getting Sabonis when scoring was not a problem for this Cleveland team this last year. I do think the Darius Garland rumors of him being traded have some merit because the perimeter defense struggled so much and they're at a bit of a size discrepancy. If you could turn Darius Garland into a bigger, more defensive oriented, I'm not saying you should trade him straight up or anything, but if you could turn Darius Garland into Drew Holiday, I think that would probably be a net positive for the Cavs. The problem is Holiday's age. I don't think you actually make that swap. So could you turn him into like a Jalen Suggs or someone like that? I think that would probably be the overall more positive step forward for Cleveland. But I think there's some merit to a Jared Allen for Sabonis trade. Just in general, I'm always going to be wary of giving up a shot blocking big the way that Jared Allen is. Yeah, Suggs for Garland, I think is interesting for both teams. You need Orlando clearly needs shooting. Garland would be a good fit there. And then the defense, that the Cavs could use. Landing Keon Ellis in that deal becomes tough because Keon Ellis is a restricted free agent. Or no, sorry, he's not. He has a team option. So they could pick up that team option and then trade him. But I think the Kings are going to decline that team option and give him a new deal to keep him long-term so he doesn't hit free agency. I think that's probably what we're going to see happen with Keon Ellis. Frankly, I think the Kings would have been better had they played Keon Ellis earlier. I mean, Mike Brown maybe keeps his job had he played Keon Ellis more earlier. But sure, he could get put into a deal like that. Let's see if OKC is just going to coast across the finish line here. Chances of getting Alexander Walker. I won't say they're good because I do think that if it's not the Wolves, some team is going to offer enough of their mid-level exception. It doesn't have to be the full 14.1 million, but enough of it to be a better deal than what the Lakers or any of the taxpayer mid-level teams could offer. So like if a team offers $9 million per year, that's significantly more than what the Lakers can offer at just under 5.7 million with the taxpayer MLE. SGA into the paint, flips it up, and one. Whistle and a foul, and Indiana has emptied their bench. Mather tried to stay in front. Indiana waves the white flag. That wasn't even a foul. But it doesn't matter. This game is over. Indiana pulled their starters. And OKC is going to level this series at one apiece. And you know what? Give the Thunder credit. They went out here and took this game. They went out here, took this game. They were determined. The Pacers kept it close in the first. The Thunder blew it open in the second quarter and did not look back. Caruso for 3, and if I'm the Thunder, I'm making preparations to pull all of my guys right now if I can, because this game is OVER. Pull SGA, pull Dort, pull Caruso, pull Chet, pull J-Dub. Look at OKC stars' age. Why can't we just keep our young talents instead of trading them away every time we draft them? I mean, is there a belief that one of the young Lakers, is Dalton Knecht going to be on the level of OKC's guys? I don't know. Maybe he will be. I don't think they have to move Dalton Knecht, by the way, the Lakers. I think they will, but that's more of a symptom of them not having any other real assets to put into trades, or not many other assets to put into trades. But I think Dalton Knecht's going to be a very good player. Dalton's going to be the next SGA. Come on. Proclaiming that Dalton Knecht's going to be the next MVP. We're setting the bar a little high there. Just a little bit. And here we go. The Thunder emptying their bench as well. Well, if you're the Pacers and you're going back to Pawnee, you can look at it and you could say, mission accomplished. We did what we needed to do. We stole home court. And now if we take care of business in Indiana, we win an NBA championship. I think if you're the Pacers, you feel pretty good about getting a 1-1, getting a split and going back to Indiana tied 1-1. And if you're the Thunder, you can say, this is what was supposed to happen game 1. This is the real Thunder team. This is how we should always look. Our defense was absolutely stifling. We forced turnovers every time we needed to. We made life hell on the Pacers all game long. And this is what we can do consistently. And Wiggins driving to the basket, gets fouled. 2:25 left. 17-point Thunder lead. Who would I rather trade, Austin or Dalton, in a trade with Brooklyn? I mean, it depends on what you're getting back, obviously, but Dalton. I mean, I'm not saying Dalton can't get there, can't get to Austin's level, but Austin is on a very different level than Dalton Knecht is right now. I think people have started to overlook how good Austin Reeves was this season. I think people have kind of forgotten because of the how poorly he played. Admittedly, how poorly he played in the playoffs, but he was cooking during the season. James Johnson getting into the game. Lisa said, stop putting Rui in trade talks. I mean, that's the Lakers are the ones that make that decision. As far as rumors or trade discussions and conversations, every player is going to, that's just the nature of being a Laker. Every player is going to be mentioned in trade conversations. And Rui may be, the Lakers have guys like Gabe Benson, Maxi Kleber. Those guys aren't positive values on their contracts. They're just expiring contracts. Rui, to the right team, does have value. And so that's why he's going to wind up getting discussed. But same with a lot of guys. I would trade Austin because of fear of losing him in free agency. Yeah, that's a real concern. That's a real concern. And that's why I think the Lakers, they have to be more open-minded to an Austin Reeves trade than ever before because of Austin hitting free agency potentially next summer. And he can say all the right things and say he wants to stay a Laker forever and all that. But there's no guarantees. It's so dangerous to allow a player to become a free agent. And we've seen it happen. It's happened to the Lakers before. It happened to them with Dwight Howard. It's so dangerous to allow a guy who's a valuable part of your team to become a free agent. So that's why I believe, even me saying I would trade Dalton Knecht before Austin, that doesn't mean you don't look at Austin trade. You absolutely do. You have to. Same as D'Angelo Russell. His contract says you have to explore the trade market with him. Doesn't mean you have to trade him, but you have to consider it. You have to consider it if the right deal is there. Now, again, though, if Austin is telling you flat out, and I don't know if he is or not, but if Austin is telling the Lakers, hey, I will not go anywhere as long as you give me a fair contract in free agency, I'll stay. And everything I've heard has been that he's been very happy as a Laker. He doesn't, I don't suspect there's a reason why he would want to leave, but even so, it's got to be a factor. But could that also nerf his trade value? Does another team getting him say, well, he might just be a one-year rental? That's the problem. Kamari, they don't have 2 firsts, so that's the problem with that. But Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton would sure, that's a fine duo to target. And I think you'd have to consider something like that. But again, they don't have those 2 firsts to give. Yeah, Cam Johnson is 29 years old. Yep. And the big Jalen Williams knocks down a 3. 123-105. That's going to do it here. James Johnson. Nice little move there from him. 123-107. All right, everybody. Appreciate all of you for joining here. The Thunder tied the series. This was a lot of fun doing play-by-play, but I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out here with me. We'll do something again, whether it's a live play-by-play or maybe a post-game show for Game 3, but I'll let everybody know. If you have not subscribed to the Basketball Bulletin yet on YouTube, please do so. Thanks again, everybody. Till next time. See ya, and stay safe.